Welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be exploring Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins.
Ah, fantastic.
It covers so much, from achieving success and personal development to even financial mastery.
And human behavior?
Absolutely.
It's all in there.
We'll uncover some pretty fascinating concepts.
For sure.
Like neuro-associative conditioning.
Yo.
Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Robbins really emphasizes the power of decisions.
Yes.
He believes they shape our destiny.
Oh, for sure.
He tells a story about a young musician
Okay.
who almost took his own life
Wow.
because of short-term thinking.
Oh, really?
But, that experience fueled his passion
Uh-huh.
and led him towards his dreams.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's really what Robbins is saying.
Yeah.
It's our decisions that have a real impact.
Huge impact. Absolutely.
Good or bad?
He outlines 6 keys
Okay.
to harness decision-making power.
Okay.
And one that I think is really important is that there's always a solution.
We just might not be able to see it right away.
It's about changing our mindset
Right.
instead of being stuck.
Yeah,
We need to look for those possibilities.
exactly.
But what I thought was really fascinating was neuro-associative conditioning, or NSC.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Okay, so NSC is all about how our neurology, emotions, and actions are all connected.
Interesting.
It's a method to understand why we do what we do.
Okay, I'm following you.
Okay, so he uses this example of a chocolate addict
It's okay.
and how he helped them get over their cravings by using this pattern interrupt technique.
Fascinating.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
breaking those habits that just don't serve us anymore?
I mean, that's what we all want, right?
Totally.
To get rid of those bad habits.
Exactly. So that's what NSC is all about.
Ooh.
Disrupting unwanted patterns
Right.
and conditioning new empowering ones.
Love it.
So there are 5 steps to this process.
Okay.
But the most important ones are
Uh-huh.
identifying what you want to change
Yeah.
and then reinforcing that new pattern until it becomes automatic.
Oh, so it becomes like second nature.
Exactly.
Wow, that's interesting.
How do you think this applies to your life?
Oh, tons of ways. Give me an example. Well, okay, so procrastination.
Oh, the struggle.
We've all been there.
For sure.
So, first you figure out what triggers it.
Okay.
Is it fear of failure or maybe feeling overwhelmed?
Yep. Makes sense.
And then you got to interrupt that pattern.
Okay. Oh.
Well, you could break the task into smaller steps or reward yourself for making progress.
Oh, I like that.
Robbins says we have more control over our emotions and actions
Right.
than we realize.
It's about being aware of what's going on internally
Right.
and then shaping it.
I love that.
Which brings us to another idea.
Okay.
The impact of beliefs.
Interesting.
He believes they shape our perception
Uh-huh.
and the outcomes in our lives. He gives these examples
Okay.
about permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization. Right, but they either hold us back or empower us.
Oh, I see.
And then he has this thought-provoking story.
Oh, I love stories.
This one's about a woman who left the Ku Klux Klan,
Wow.
but only after she transformed her entire belief system.
That's incredible.
I know. It just shows that examining and challenging our beliefs can lead to serious personal growth.
Wow. So it's about looking at a belief you have
Yeah,
that might be limiting you
exactly.
and trying to see the situation another way
Yeah.
and adopt a belief that would empower you.
Absolutely. And Robbins suggests
Hmm.
we learn by modeling the beliefs of successful people.
Oh, like mentors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does this himself
That's really smart.
by drawing inspiration from others.
Uh-huh.
Then we have this concept about questions.
Oh, tell me more.
Okay, so Robbins says the questions we ask ourselves
Okay.
really determine how we think,
Interesting.
and that impacts every part of our lives.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
He gives some concrete examples like his morning power questions,
Morning power question.
which are designed to make us feel good.
Okay.
And then he talks about changing just one word in a question and how that can shift our whole perspective.
Give me an example.
So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You
Yeah.
ask, what can I learn from this?
Right.
That subtle change
Yeah.
can create a whole new mindset.
A more empowered one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Robbins' framework of the 10 emotions
10 emotions.
that drive human behavior.
Interesting.
They're the 10 emotions of power.
The 10 emotions of power. Okay.
They encompass all of human experience.
So which ones should we focus on?
Well, I think fear is interesting.
Okay.
He says it's really anticipation needing preparation.
Okay.
So instead of being frozen by fear,
Yeah.
we should use it as a way to gather info
Okay.
and strategize.
That makes sense.
Then there's guilt.
Okay.
He says it's a way to create positive change.
Okay.
So rather than dwelling in it,
Uh-huh.
we should use it as motivation.
To make amends.
Right.
And course correct our actions.
Exactly. I want you to think about this.
Okay.
Which of these emotions do you feel the most?
Hmm.
And how are they shaping how you act?
That's a really good question.
It's all about self-awareness
I like it.
to unlock those behavior patterns.
I'm ready to unlock them. Now let's shift gears a bit.
Okay?
Let's talk about finances.
Mastering finance.
Right. It's an area.
It can be scary for some people.
Oh, absolutely.
Robbins approaches this
Yeah.
in a way that goes beyond just accumulating wealth.
Oh, for sure.
He says, true prosperity comes
Yeah.
from having a sense of purpose
Interesting.
and contributing to society
Right.
in a meaningful way.
I like that.
He calls this economic alchemy.
Economic alchemy.
It's transforming something ordinary
Uh-huh.
into something extremely valuable.
Oh, like magic almost.
Exactly. And to illustrate this,
Okay.
he uses the analogy of a doctor
Okay.
and a doorman.
A doctor and a doorman. Okay.
They both provide services.
Yeah.
But the doctor, they go through years of training
Yeah.
and they have skills
Right.
that can really impact lives.
It's a higher level of service.
Exactly. And that's what elevated them,
Yeah.
both in society
Uh-huh.
and financially.
It makes sense.
Robbins asks us
Hmm.
to think about how we can amplify what we contribute.
Okay.
Could we double our income?
Interesting question.
Maybe even increase it tenfold?
Wow.
He believes it's possible
Really?
if we can find a way
Yeah.
to be more valuable
Okay.
to our employer or to the world.
To humanity as a whole.
Exactly. And how do we do that?
Well,
By getting new skills,
okay.
expanding our knowledge,
Uh-huh.
and being more creative
So it's about being better at what we do.
and thinking outside the box.
Right.
So how can you contribute more
That's a great question.
in every area of your life?
Well, yes.
Work, home, your community.
I could volunteer more.
That's a great idea.
Maybe find ways to mentor others at work. Or even just be more present with my family.
It's about giving more.
Giving more. Okay.
The possibilities are endless.
That's exciting.
Robbins says
Uh-huh.
that not only will it help you financially,
Yeah.
it'll give your life more purpose.
That's amazing.
Now, Robbins also talks about
Oh,
preserving wealth.
okay.
And he has this basic principle.
What is it?
Spend less than you earn
Okay.
and invest the difference,
Simple enough.
right? But so many people struggle with this.
I guess it's easier said than done.
Totally. And it's not just about how much you earn.
Really?
Robbins has worked with people
Mm-hmm.
making $30,000 a year
Okay.
to people making $2 million a year.
Wow, that's quite a range.
And what's surprising is
Mhm.
even the ones making $2 million,
Yeah.
they're struggling financially.
Oh, wow. So it's not about the amount?
Exactly.
So why is that?
Robbins says
Oh, yeah.
is because they make bad financial decisions.
Uh-huh.
They have no plan for spending or investing.
So they're just winging it.
And he compares this to sailing towards Niagara Falls
Oh.
without realizing the danger.
That's scary.
It's a metaphor
Right.
for what happens when you don't plan for the future.
You go over the falls.
Basically.
Okay, I get it.
So now Robbins
Yeah.
connects this to
Oh, what?
the tuna fishing industry.
Tuna fishing. Okay.
He talks about this filmmaker,
Okay.
Sam Lobu,
Sam LeBou.
who went undercover
Wow.
to expose their methods.
What did he find?
So Lobu
Yeah.
joined the crew of a Panamanian tuna boat
He was really undercover.
and secretly recorded everything.
So what did he see?
They were killing dolphins.
Oh, no.
They were getting caught in the nets.
Oh, that's awful.
It was all about profit,
Right.
and they didn't care about sustainability.
Wow.
So Robbins brings us back to our lives
Okay.
by urging us to think about
Yeah.
how our everyday choices impact the planet.
Like what?
Our diets.
Our diets.
We have to make informed choices,
So we support sustainable practices.
exactly like eating less red meat,
Okay.
especially hamburger.
Why hamburger?
It can help stop deforestation.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
All comes back to personal responsibility,
Right.
owning our decisions,
Yeah.
and recognizing their impact.
I like that.
Robbins tells us
Yeah.
to stop complaining about problems
Okay.
and start finding solutions.
So be proactive.
Exactly.
Okay.
Robbins is calling us to action,
Yeah.
to be agents of change.
Wow. I love
He
that.
says we all have this heroic potential inside us,
Heroic potential. Okay.
and it's activated
Wow.
by overcoming challenges
Okay.
and
Yeah.
rising to the occasion.
So when things get tough,
Exactly.
that's when we show our true selves.
He uses the example of President George Bush
Okay.
during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
His plane got shot down
Oh, wow.
over the Pacific,
He had to eject?
and he ended up
Yeah.
alone in a life raft.
In the middle of the
It
ocean.
was a traumatic experience,
Such-
but it really shaped him.
In what way?
Well, he had to face death.
Right.
Think about his purpose.
Yeah.
And he came out of it with more resilience
He had to.
and determination.
Wow.
And that experience
Yeah.
made him grateful for life
Okay.
and aware of how fragile it is.
Makes sense.
And it also made him believe
Yeah.
that good must always win over evil.
Wow. That's powerful.
Robbins says these beliefs
Okay.
shaped Bush's leadership
Really?
decades later when
What?
he had to deal with Saddam Hussein.
Oh, wow. I see the connection.
It shows how these reference experiences
Yeah.
stay with us
Right. They shape our perspective
and guide our actions.
throughout our lives.
Robbins says we should be curating these experiences.
Curating. Okay, so choosing them carefully.
We should seek out experiences that expand our horizons,
I like that.
challenge our limits,
Yeah.
and give us new perspectives.
Give me some examples.
Well, you could take a helicopter lesson,
That helicopter lesson.
try scuba diving,
Right.
train for a marathon,
Push your limits.
or even do some community service.
So it's about getting out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, and embracing the unknown.
That can be scary for some people.
But these experiences help us understand ourselves
Right.
and the world better.
I like that.
They shape what we believe
Okay.
and give us valuable insight.
That guides our decisions.
Robbins reminds us
Uh-huh.
that everything influences our inner world.
Everything like what?
The information we consume,
Okay.
the people we surround ourselves with,
Uh-huh.
and the experiences we choose.
Right.
So we have to be mindful
Of those influences.
and make sure they're empowering.
So we're in control.
We're shaping our thoughts,
Uh-huh.
feelings,
Yeah.
and actions.
It all connects.
Now let's talk about identity.
Identity.
It's a cornerstone of his master system.
Oh, tell me more.
He says our identity,
Our identity meaning.
how we see ourselves,
Yeah.
has a huge influence on our lives. He gives this example from the Korean War.
Interesting.
American prisoners of war
Okay.
were brainwashed by the Chinese.
Wow.
They betrayed their country
That's intense.
and even ratted out fellow prisoners.
How do they do that?
They chipped away at their sense of self.
Or identity.
Exactly. They reshaped who they thought they were.
Wow, that's scary.
And there was no physical torture involved.
So it was all psychological
This shows how powerful identity is.
and how easily it can be manipulated.
Then there's the Pygmalion effect.
Pygmalion effect.
It's where our expectations of others
Yeah.
can actually influence their performance.
Oh, I've heard of that.
But he says this also applies to ourselves.
Ourselves. Okay.
If we don't think we can do something,
Uh-huh.
we'll probably sabotage our own efforts.
So we need to challenge those beliefs.
Absolutely. We have to create a strong self-identity.
And that empowers us.
Robbins says our identity isn't fixed.
Oh, okay. So we can change it.
It changes with our choices and experiences.
So it's not set in stone.
He also talks about identity crises.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of those.
It's when our actions don't match
Yeah.
how we see ourselves.
Like we're not being true to ourselves.
And this often happens during major life changes,
Like what?
like midlife.
Midlife.
We might realize our self-image
Mm-hmm.
doesn't match what we want anymore.
So we need to shift our identity.
Robbins says
Yeah.
that's the key to lasting change.
Interesting.
He uses the example of someone with an addiction.
Oh, okay.
It's not enough to just change your behavior.
You have to change how you see yourself.
Right. They have to go from addict
Yeah.
to someone living a healthy life.
So it's a complete transformation.
And this applies to every area of life.
Health, relationships,
Finances.
career, everything.
Wow.
It's about aligning your actions
Mhm.
with who you want to be.
That makes a lot of sense.
So now let's talk about physical well-being.
Okay. I like this topic.
Robbins tells the story of Stu Middleman.
Stu Middleman, who is he?
He's an ultramarathon runner. Ultramarathon runner.
He ran 1,000 miles
1,000 miles. Wow.
in 12 days
Across America.
across America. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
How did he do that?
And he never hit the wall.
The wall meaning...
The feeling of exhaustion.
Oh, right. That runner's gap.
So how did he do it?
I'm curious.
He trained his metabolism
trained his metabolism, okay?
so he could use an energy source
Yeah.
most people don't tap into.
What is that?
Robbins explains that our bodies
Uh-huh.
have two energy systems,
Okay.
aerobic
Aerobic.
and anaerobic.
Like anaerobic. Got it.
The aerobic system uses oxygen
Okay.
and burns fat for fuel,
Fat. Okay.
but the anaerobic system
Huh?
doesn't use oxygen
Okay.
and uses glycogen
Glycogen.
and tends to store fat.
Interesting.
Middleman trained his body
Huh.
to mainly work in the aerobic zone
So he was burning fat the whole time.
and optimizing his energy.
Lar-
Robbins says it's important
Yeah.
to understand these systems,
Okay.
to be healthy and fit. He says our lifestyles today,
Right.
we sit too much.
We're all glued to our screens.
And then we do high-intensity exercise.
Yeah.
So we overuse the anaerobic system
Okay.
and neglect the aerobic.
Which we need for sustained energy.
Right. And for our overall well-being.
So what should we do?
He suggests doing more low-intensity aerobic activities.
Like what?
Like walking, jogging, swimming, dancing.
That's more moderate.
Exactly.
Okay.
It trains our bodies to burn fat better.
I like that.
It's not about no pain, no gain.
Right.
It's about finding balance
Okay.
to be healthy
Yep.
and perform well.
I can get behind that.
Robbins reminds us
Uh-huh.
our bodies can adapt
Yeah.
and do incredible things.
If we take care of them.
Exactly. So let's switch gears again.
Okay, where are we going now?
Let's talk about relationships.
Relationships, all right.
Robbins talks about
Yeah.
how relationships break down.
Okay, that's a good topic.
There's a 4-stage process.
Okay, they're listening.
The first stage is annoyance.
Annoying.
It's when your partner
Yeah.
does something that bugs you.
Little things.
At first it's small,
Right.
but if you ignore it,
Yeah.
it can grow
And become a bigger problem.
and ruin the relationship.
I see where this is going.
So then comes anger.
Anger. Okay.
We get frustrated
Yeah.
and resentful.
Because those little things keep happening.
And if that resentment keeps growing,
Yeah.
it creates distance,
Emotional
leading to rejection.
Oh.
And at this point,
yeah.
we might criticize our partner,
Right.
focus on their flaws,
Mm-hmm.
and there's even more distance.
Emotional and physical.
If this continues,
Yeah.
we get to repression.
Repression.
We shut down emotionally.
We don't care anymore.
We avoid confrontation,
We just want peace.
even if it's superficial.
That doesn't sound good.
Robbins says this doesn't have to happen
It can be avoided.
if we recognize the stages
Uh-huh.
and intervene.
Okay, so what can we do?
Communication is key.
Right, talking it out.
Instead of keeping quiet,
We have to express our annoyances.
but in a constructive way.
Okay, so not just complaining.
We need to create a safe space
For dialogue.
and understanding.
I kind of see how that would help.
He also says
Yeah.
we need clear expectations
Okay.
and boundaries
Boundaries.
in our relationship.
So what does that look like?
Well, he suggests a relationship agreement.
A relationship agreement. What's that?
It's like a set of rules
Okay.
that you both agree on
Okay.
about how you'll interact.
Like a contract.
Kind of.
So what kind of things would be in this agreement?
Things like respect,
Respect. Okay.
communication,
Makes sense?
intimacy,
Uh-huh.
and how you'll resolve conflict.
So it covers all the bases.
When you define those rules,
Yeah.
it prevents misunderstandings
Right.
and reduces conflict.
It's all about being on the same page.
Robbins also says
Mhm.
we don't need external things
Okay.
to make us happy.
We can choose happiness.
Exactly.
We can choose joy. Uh-huh.
And fulfillment.
No matter what's going on around us.
He challenges the idea
What idea?
that happiness comes from achieving things,
If we're buying things,
right? It's all about our internal state.
our mindset.
We have to choose to focus on the positive,
Okay.
appreciate the present,
Uh-huh.
and enjoy the simple things.
So it's a conscious effort
It's about rewiring our brains,
to experience pleasure and fulfillment.
not as a reward.
But just because we can.
Exactly. And then he talks about rules.
Rules.
These are often unconscious beliefs
Okay.
that dictate when we feel good or bad.
Interesting.
He says a lot of us have rules
Yeah.
that limit our happiness.
Oh, that's not good.
Like we might have a rule
Okay.
that says we can't be happy
Until when?
until we're rich.
Or have perfect relationship.
Those rules were probably formed in childhood,
Right.
and they stop us from enjoying life.
So how do we get rid of them?
Robbins says we need to examine them,
Okay.
challenge them,
Uh-huh.
and replace them
With something better.
with empowering beliefs.
that support our happiness.
He asks this question:
Okay.
are you a great lover?
Ooh, that's a personal question.
He says our answer
Yeah.
depends on our rules.
About lovemaking.
Some people define it
Yeah.
based on their partner's feedback.
Okay.
Others define it
Uh-huh.
based on their own experience.
Right.
Robbins says those rules,
Yeah.
like most of the rules we have,
Uh-huh.
are kind of random.
They're arbitrary.
They come from our upbringing,
Yeah.
our culture,
Yeah.
past experiences, and society's expectations,
It's a lot of influences,
and they can really limit us.
especially in relationships.
He says we need to reevaluate those rules
Make sure they're working for us.
and make sure they're helping us create
Yeah.
joyful relationships.
I like that.
Robbins says our rules should empower us.
Not hold us back.
They should help us create good experiences.
And connections.
So we need to be aware of those rules, understand where they come from, and consciously change them.
So we can be happier.
He then talks about personal standards.
Okay, personal standards.
These are the rules we don't break.
Even if it means giving up some pleasure.
These represent our core values,
What we believe in.
what defines us.
Our moral compass.
He separates these
From what?
from the more flexible rules.
Okay.
Uses the words must and should.
Okay.
Must rules are non-negotiable.
They're set in stone.
They reflect our values,
Okay.
but should rules, we can bend those.
In certain situations.
He says it's important
Yeah.
to understand how these rules work together.
Okay.
They give our lives structure and guidance.
And help us make good choices.
Now, changing those deep-seated rules can be hard.
It's not easy to change.
They're often hidden,
In our subconscious.
and they affect everything we do.
How do we even start to change them?
He uses this metaphor of a baseball game.
Baseball. Okay.
Imagine someone who says they know the rules,
Yeah.
but then they start making up exceptions.
Oh, that would be
It
confusing.
would disrupt the whole game.
And frustrating.
It's like when we try to change our rules,
Yeah.
we meet resistance.
From ourselves and others?
Our old patterns fight back,
Right.
and people around us don't like it.
They're used to the old us.
So Robbins says
Yeah.
to change successfully,
Okay.
we need to understand why we have those rules in the first place
Okay.
and see the benefits
Of the new rules.
of the new rules.
Got it.
We also need to talk to the people around us,
Right. Communicate with them.
explain why we're changing,
And ask for their support.
and we have to be patient.
Change takes time.
Now, let's move on to
Okay.
conflict resolution.
Oh, that's a tough one.
In relationships,
Yeah.
Robbins says
Uh-huh.
it's about understanding
The other person.
the other person's perspective.
Okay, so put yourself in their shoes.
Exactly.
Instead of focusing on who's right or wrong.
We need to understand their needs.
Their needs and values.
What's driving their behavior.
Okay, so ask questions.
Listen
Man, really understand them.
and then make a deal.
Make a deal. Okay.
Once you know what each other needs,
Uh-huh.
you can find a solution.
That works for both of you.
He suggests saying,
Yeah.
would you do this so I feel respected,
Okay.
and I'll do this for you.
So it's a trade-off.
It's about cooperation and respect.
A win-win.
Relationships work best
Yeah.
when everyone knows the rules.
And follows them.
Robbins tells a story
Okay.
about someone who wronged him,
Oh, wow.
but he chose to forgive them.
Even though it was hard.
It was tough,
Yeah.
but it gave him peace.
So forgiveness was the key.
He wasn't condoning their actions.
Right.
He was letting go of his resentment.
So he could move on.
It shows the power
Yeah.
of living by your values.
Even when it's hard.
Robbins believes
Uh-huh.
that true fulfillment
Yeah.
doesn't come from revenge.
Or holding grudges.
It comes from doing the right thing.
Living with integrity.
And our values,
Yeah.
they change over time.
They do.
He says we should check in on them.
Regularly.
Make sure they still match our priorities.
That makes sense.
Sometimes living by our values
Yeah.
means making tough choices,
Standing up for what we believe in.
even when it's unpopular.
That takes courage.
And Robbins says
Uh-huh.
true courage
Yeah.
isn't about not being afraid.
It's about acting despite our fear.
He tells this story
Okay.
about a man
Mm-hmm.
who didn't want to change his values.
Really?
This man really valued freedom.
Freedom. Okay.
His wife made him go
To what?
to Robbins' Date with Destiny seminar,
Date with destiny.
and he didn't want to change at all.
He felt like it was taking away his freedom.
But then he realized something.
What?
True freedom comes from being open to change
Oh, wow.
and from aligning your actions
Uh-huh.
with your values.
Even if it means changing your life.
This story shows
Mm.
that we can grow.
And transform.
Robbins says we're not limited by our past
We can choose our own values.
and shape our own destinies.
That's a powerful message.
And Robbins says
Uh-huh.
living by our values
Yeah.
isn't about some future state.
It's about what we do now.
It's about making choices today
Okay.
that reflect our beliefs.
So every decision matters.
Every action is a
But
chance
to show our values.
and to live authentically.
I love that.
He says it's a process.
of self-discovery.
It takes growth.
It takes courage,
Definitely.
commitment,
And a willingness to embrace the challenges.
to really live with passion and purpose.
He wants us to keep using these tools
The strategies
to find what works best for us.
as we navigate life.
It's incredible how he combines all these different fields.
What do you mean?
Psychology,
Okay.
neurology,
It's philosophy.
spirituality.
It's all connected.
It's all in there.
And he makes it so easy to understand.
He's not just talking theory.
He's actually using this stuff.
So let's recap.
What we've learned.
From Awaken the Giant Within,
Okay, I'm ready.
he gives us a plan
A set of principles
and strategies.
to take control of our lives.
And it all starts with recognizing
The power of our decisions,
every choice we make
big or small.
impacts our lives.
We need to be more conscious.
About our choices.
We can't just let life happen to us.
Then there's NAC.
Neuro-associative conditioning.
It helps us understand
How our thoughts, feelings, and actions are related,
and how to change our thinking.
so we can be more successful,
Robbins gives us a step-by-step guide.
to break free from those limitations.
And then there's beliefs.
Our beliefs,
They're like filters
they shape how we see things.
on what happens to us.
We need to look at those beliefs
Get rid of the ones that hold us back.
and choose beliefs that empower us.
Then we have the questions we ask ourselves.
The questions.
They determine how we think.
And that affects everything.
We need to ask good questions
Questions that inspire us,
that make us feel good.
that help us reach our goals.
And then we have
The 10 emotions of power.
Robbins helps us understand them.
Emotions like fear and guilt.
They can actually be helpful.
If we use them the right way,
And we need to create a compelling future
a vision that motivates us,
to achieve our full potential,
setting goals that align with our values
that light us up.
and give us purpose.
And then there's the master
A
system.
master system.
It's how our values, beliefs, rules, and identity all work together.
It's like a map of our lives.
If we understand it,
We can make better choices.
choices that align with our dreams.
And our values are at the center of it all.
They're our compass.
They guide us.
We need to know what our values are.
And live by them.
And then there are the rules.
The rules we create for ourselves.
They can either help us,
or hold us back
we need to make sure they're supporting us.
on our journey to happiness.
And then we have financial mastery.
It's not just about money
It's about adding value to others.
to make a difference in the world.
And that leads to abundance,
Not just financial abundance.
but fulfillment as well.
Robbins reminds us
We're in control.
we have the power to choose
Our thoughts,
our beliefs
our actions,
and our destinies.
awaken the giant within
It's a guide.
for transforming ourselves
It reminds us.
of the potential we all have.
I'm so glad we did this deep dive.
Me too. For those of you who want to learn more,
Check out Anthony Robbins' work.
remember, it's not enough to just know this stuff.
You have to put it into practice.
What resonated with you the most?
And how can you use it in your life?
Here's a question to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
What's one small step
One tiny thing
you can do today
to move closer.
to the life you want
Keep that in
as
mind
you continue on your journey?
of personal growth
Thank you for joining us
on this deep dive.
into Awaken the Giant Within.
Before we go,
Let's review the 10 key takeaways.
okay, shoot.
Number 1, your decisions shape your life. Make choices consciously.
Number 2, neuro-associative conditioning can help break negative patterns and create positive ones.
Number 3, your beliefs shape your reality. Examine and challenge limiting beliefs.
Number 4, the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of your life.
Number 5, become aware of the 10 core emotions and how they drive your behavior.
Number 6, create a compelling future with goals that excite and inspire you.
Number 7, understand Robbins' master system to take control of your destiny.
Number 8, identify your core values and ensure your actions are aligned with them.
Number 9, reevaluate your rules for achieving values to create more fulfilling experiences.
Number 10, add value to others as the key to financial success and personal fulfillment.
We hope you found this deep dive insightful and empowering. Until next time, embrace the journey of awakening the giant within you.